I can't keep up with it. Like the moment I push record, already I'm dropping the microphone. Like who's working against us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are back. It is New York said. It is Sunday Cigar. It's all
Yes,
those
sir.
things. How you doing, Juan?
I'm just happy to be here, man. Another year where we could do this once again, baby boy.
Back once again. It's the incredible. So how was your year?
It's been a steady year. I've had a good year. Um, it's been ups and downs, obviously, but I come to you with uh the full heart and you know an understanding of what this year has offered me. So I will say good year.
I would say this year, I was kind of like being down on myself about this year because this has been a tumultuous year. It's been a bugged out year, but at the same time, I was kicking it with a family member, specifically my mom, and she heard me and she was like,
Uh-huh.
nah, it's not that. She said, what you've been going through is a prep year, a prep
Ooh,
year. And
like that.
that all of a sudden just made everything make sense because even though things have been slow as far as work and contracts and all those things,
Right on.
I've had so much time to really spend a lot of quality time with my fam and the people that I care about. But I've also had time to like redo the website, work on this project, open up to this thing because New York said is constantly evolving and it's always taking on new things. And so it started out as a photography project and then it ended up being a podcast and then it ended up being articles and then it ended up being everything and then it ended up being a cigar show and then it ended up now we're doing video.
Right.
So like we're just moving and grooving with the time, but if you're constantly always gigging and doing these things, you never have a moment to just go in and refine or update the process or make new additions to what the project is. So I had a lot of time to like really think about what it is that I wanted to do with the project, where I wanted to take it, because it's still going.
Yeah.
Even though I've only recorded 2 or 3 podcast episodes this year and only published 2 actual audio episodes, there have been quite
Great
a few
episode.
articles. There have been quite a few interviews as well as video. So it's not always just been audio. So now we're having these new additions. It's growing. So it has been a prep year and I'm really excited for what 2026 has in store. Like I was excited in 2024 for what 2025 was, but if I've learned anything in life is like it's like you have plans and God have plans. Like that old saying, like if you want to make God laugh, make
Make
plans.
plans.
So like I'm excited about what's going on, but it's been this like mental up and down thing nonstop. But all in all, it's been a very positive year. I will say that.
Yeah. The swings are gonna happen. I think that there's definitely a level of appreciation for just being alive.
Yep.
Um, I think that's kind of the levity of, the theme of how things are going in my perspective. Um, where it's just noticing life, appreciating life, being grateful, and just holding that true because life is also showing me that it can disappear tomorrow. So you know, as much as we get into these funks because of things that happen to us, I think it's really important for us to just kind of understand that we're on this journey. It's going to be pain. It's going to be,
Joy.
laughter, some joy,
Yep.
you know. Um, but the understanding is just you're not outside of yourself when you are reflecting and saying, "Wow, you know what? Um, this is tough, but I've been through a lot of shit." You know, and getting older just kind of like that's kind of how it works, right? So,
So we're just
if
gonna jump right into it. Like,
please.
what has been your biggest accomplishment? Like, what are you excited about what happened this year? Like, what is something that you're like, you know what? That was pretty definitive.
I think as we're discussing getting older, right? And our perspectives growing with us because of the experiences that kind of pile on. Just watching Judson, man, like, he's
Your
two and
son.
a half, and he is really, really smart, man. I know everyone says that about their kids,
Yeah.
but it's so cool. So just the impact of, again, very, very fortunate that I can spend weekends with him, right? Like, where I have weekends off from work that I can spend with him. Um, and the things that, not that I've taught him, but that I've just these life lessons, right? Like that just kind of go with the growth, strangers and candy, and shit like that.
Yeah.
Germs, you know what I'm saying? Wash your hands, like for him to lead me sometimes and say, Daddy, we gotta wash our hands. Man, there's nothing that I've done at work, any accomplishment that I've gotten professionally that would, have the same type of impact. So I think that has been a great source of joy because we're putting in that work. You know what I'm saying? Like Susan and I are literally every day cognizant of what the day's gonna look like for him while he's at, grandma daycare or whatever it is. Like we're very, very conscious of his growth. And I think that it's just been kind of like he's teaching me, I'm teaching him, just like life, right? And that's to see him go from a place of not speaking to be able to communicate all these different intricate things that he can communicate, has been an absolute pleasure, man. There's nothing that you can give me that would replace that type of joy that I felt this year, and I still continue to feel.
That's
Um,
fantastic.
so that I think that has been, accomplishment wise, I think that, just teaching him life lessons and him receiving them, and so far for a 2-year old to respond the way he has, he's a lot smarter than I was at his age. So it's just that's been my
Love it.
that's been what I hold true and dear. Yeah, bro. And yourself, sir.
Oh, for me, the thing that's been giving me the most joy outside of the family thing for me, it's been like I got back into my writing bag.
Oof.
I I started out before I was a producer or a creator, photographer, or whatever the heck title I was in that creative realm.
Right.
Uh, the very first thing I was a writer.
Oh man.
And then I let it all go. For whatever reason, I felt like, what else could I possibly say? And I was writing spoken word poetry and short stories
Right on.
when I was a teenager in like early 20s. And then I let it go. And then earlier this year, I would say like right around the time I went to Japan, and it happened before I went to Japan, but when I came back, I felt like I I really love what writing is. I used to be
That's
afraid of it, especially as I got older. Like I would be worried about various mistakes and how things sounded. But now I've refined my process over time where I now understand what it means to make a lump of literary clay and then take it and sculpt it to be whatever you want it to be.
wow.
So if I'm writing an article for New York Said, it has its own tone and format. If I'm
Right on.
writing a short story, it has its own tone and format. If I'm writing a guide, it has its own tone and format. And then
Yep.
sometimes I'm writing the most creative, unhinged craziness that may not see, no one may never ever see it.
Right.
But I've had so much joy in creating just writing. So I've done
That's beautiful.
quite a bit of I mean, I've written more in this year than I have in the last, let's just say 20 years
Right on.
of all kinds of writing. And no one's calling me and hiring me and saying, "Hey, we need you to write X, Y, and Z." But I've done like a lot of KDP stuff where I'm like creating my own books and putting it on Amazon, the stuff that I've been doing for New York Said. And then there's new things that I'm working on that because of the economy and the way the world is working with all the layoffs and this, where everyone's being impacted. But I'm after a while, I just got tired of blaming this person and blaming this political thing and blame. And I was like, but what am I actually doing? I've been here before. I've been in this lull of work, so to speak, and complaining does nothing.
Right.
So being able to create things that will allow me to open up new doors in 2026 by just all I got to do is complete it and bring it to market. And I'm so close to completing things that I've had a lot of fun doing it. So I'm excited to bring some of these books that I'm working on, short books, short stories, and things of that nature that I wouldn't have been able to create the process and the systems if I was, gigging like I usually gig. So I've been really excited with that.
So it was a blessing that the blessings didn't come in one form. You created your own blessing in the in the satisfaction of your literary, thirst, I guess,
Yeah,
quality.
because it's all headspace and attitude.
Right.
It's all on
Yep.
how you approach it.
Yes. Very
I
much.
could sit here and be like, "Oh, this isn't happening, and these folks don't want to hire me, and
Right,
this
right.
doesn't happen." But like, I've gotten some pretty great projects this year, and I've
Yeah.
done some great personal projects. So it's like, well, I can't sit here and give too much energy or credence to what I cannot control. But what I can control is what I create and what I can do to refine myself, evolve myself, and extend beyond whatever my offering was. So in addition to I have these new things that can create opportunities. So it's
Right
been
on.
good. I spent so much quality time with my nieces, with my girl, with my mom and my family and my sisters,
Amen.
and then having these various conversations. And I've had friends coming from out of town who I hadn't seen in a minute. So it was just a year of like, all right, good. Everybody's good. We're all good. So
Right
I'm
on.
really happy with that. What about music? Where you at on the music front? What's like
Man,
what album I know there's a lot of music came out. We had the Mob album, we had the Clipse album, we had
that
Nas
Clipse
dropped
album,
something
man.
recently. Like, what resonated through all that great music that came out?
That Clipse album was incredible, bro. That Clipse album was incredible. Um, you know, Let God sort them out. Incredible. That intro track was, I mean, Chef's Kiss. I mean, there's something that I was listening to because of Paris Fashion Week. It was like a video that was playing on the socials, and I screen recorded it, bro, because the song was so good. So every so often I'll just kind of peek in to the Birds Don't Sing song, and I was like, man, if this is on the album, this is incredible. So the fact that it was an intro song, um, just fire, fire. I'm a big stove cook gods, and he's on the FICO hook. He did his
That
thing,
was crazy.
obviously. So just a complete album is incredible. Not no negative. I can't say anything negative about it. It's absolutely phenomenal. That's my pick. That's my pick.
My pick would be this album called it's called Memories for Sale
Right on.
by Alexander, someone who
Right.
I'd never heard of before. But I got cut into their music, however, but it was just like this one song that was kind of jazzy and it was artistic and it was hip hop and it was a number of genres that was this beautiful collage that wasn't trying to be anything but what it was.
Right.
And it took me down this like crazy rabbit hole to the point that I was like, well, let me listen to the entire album. Like I heard the one song and I was moved by it. Then I heard the next song and I was like, what is this whole album? So I listened to the whole project. Then as I dug a little deeper, I ended up learning that there was a store where this person had their own actual store in the city. So I went to
That's
Soho.
amazing.
I went to the store. I was immersed in whatever the clothing they were making. And it wasn't like your regular merch where it's just like t-shirts. This stuff looked like runway things that you would have seen where the Clipse might have been rapping in this store or what have you. Like
Right.
it just looked like it didn't even look like excuse me. It just was what it was.
Right.
And so I hadn't had an album take me on so many different adventures beyond just listening to it. So the fact that I could like listen to the album and then go to the shop, which I didn't know if it was a pop-up or whatever, but it took me in and I was really moved by all the creativity in the shop. But when I got
That's
back out
amazing.
into the street, it was like it never happened, and I
That's
haven't been
amazing.
back since. So,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Immersiveness, man. That's the future, man.
Mhm.
For art to bring you in that form, for it to go from an album to performative art. That's the future, my friend. That's where it all lies. That's where the heart of layering and giving people more of who you are and as an artist, different mediums of communication. I think that is the future, my friend.
And it just felt like straight up art, and I feel like good art evokes something. The
That's right.
same way that, that specific Clipse song took you to a place that you was like, "I had no intention of feeling this way, but
That's
here
right.
we are."
That's
So,
right.
what about films or books? Not even films. What about a book? Like, what book moves you this year?
Oh man, Misunderstood by Allen Iverson uh, was a great example of letting someone explain their story and it
Mm.
making sense. There was a lot of influence that Allen Iverson had. Excuse me, that's like
No, it's
guys
Fast
going.
and Furious out your door right
Yes,
now.
for sure. Uh, um, Allen Iverson is such a iconic figure um, for such a lot of different reasons. Hip hop, basketball. I grew up idolizing a lot of what he did. When he explains a lot of the things that he was misunderstood about, it really brought everything to this big circle of understanding. And for such an iconic Hall of Famer to be misunderstood the way he was, it was like the perfect storm for someone who was, a trailblazer. He changed the game forever. He changed the way we showed up to the basketball courts. He changed the way that we 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 handled trash talk. For a small guy out of New York, I felt like I was a part of what he left behind in this world. So for him to explain it in his words and take the time to do it and be in a place in his life where it means something, it was really cool, bro. It was just really, really, it was top notch. It was what you would want from someone at that level that is Allen Iverson. This guy really, really, and they talk, there's a lot that goes with being Allen Iverson, and he explains exactly what it was. And it's a beautiful collage of understanding for someone who wasn't understood for a
That's
very long time.
beautiful.
Yeah, man.
You've piqued my interest. Like a lot of times when you're like, whatever, we've done this. This is almost like the 8th year. I'm guessing
Yeah,
this is the
baby.
8th year we've done this
Yeah,
year and
baby.
wrap up. Whenever you mention a book, and usually something that I didn't even know was on my radar, I'm like, all right, Allen Iverson, put it in the
I
queue.
appreciate
Now
that.
I like put.
It means something. You know what I'm saying? It means something when a
I respect your
iconic figure.
curation.
Yeah, but it's more so like it's also the connections that we have for these iconic figures or these people that have written these things, that made an impact in either one of us, right? Whether it's musically, whatever it is, whoever the composer is, I think that there's a level of transcendence that goes with not just, creating a book or a memoir, you know, creating
But
a
some
moment.
But somebody like Allen Iverson, where like the media has told his story, however they
Yes,
chose to tell it,
correct.
and showed us whatever clips we want to talk about practice or what have you, and it's
100%.
all fun and games because we serve that. But then he tells us the actual story,
Yeah,
and we're like, oh, that's what that was about. And
man.
you're enlightened, and you're realizing like maybe I should like really think about what I'm ingesting and how I'm ingesting it and who's serving it to me before I
Oh, yeah.
start having thoughts and feelings about how I feel about the person who didn't even get a chance to tell their story.
Yeah,
That's why I
man.
love memoirs. Like that's my when it comes to books, I'm listening to Roy Jones Jr.
No joke.
His,
Get outta
yeah,
here.
his book is hilarious. It starts off a
Yeah?
little slow, but I'm still in the middle of it, so I couldn't tell you that it was like my pick of the year, but It's good. It's
Yeah?
really good, especially to see where he is now and him talking about all the sacrifices and the mistakes he made along the way in a very candid way for him to get to where he is. I didn't even know he did stand up like that. But right now he's talking about doing the Apollo, which I didn't even know he
Wow.
did the Apollo. So,
Wow.
but he's like one of us, like if he talks about playing Sega Genesis, I'm like, oh shit, I play Sega Genesis.
Word,
So
word.
it's like it's not just somebody who's like so iconic that they're far removed that they wouldn't even know to even mention playing video games.
Yeah.
So for him to like tell this relatable story, you know what? Even though I still got about a third left, it it'll be my pick. I
My
think that'll
man,
be my pick for this
I
year. Yeah.
appreciate that. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
It's a definitely, like I said, it starts off a little slow, but it makes sense and and he's a comedian, so he tells great stories,
That's so
but
cool.
he also tells them in a way that'll make you laugh out loud, like actually like guffaw while you're buying food.
Love
Because I
it.
listen to the book and he's telling the story. So yeah,
Love it.
easily, yeah,
Love it, bro. Love it. Okay, that's what it's about. I mean, creating these type of moments where you could actually remember, what someone's actually putting down. If it's humor, count me in
yeah.
all day,
That
every
I would
day.
definitely, and he's not trying to be funny, but he's telling stories. And here's the thing that I think we would appreciate the most about it. He's giving the book is to his son
Oh, that's
because of his
beautiful.
relationship with his father that was so tumultuous
Wow.
that he's writing the book that he wished he would have known about his own father. So
Wow.
he's breaking the cycle. So you as a father and how you started
Wow.
this conversation,
I
I
need
think
that.
you specifically would appreciate that.
Need
So
that. Need that.
um and it wouldn't make sense for us to do a Sunday cigar slash New York set episode year end wrap up. It's a lot of layers to this without us talking about a little bit of smoke. So someone might be tuning in and like, what the hell is he smoking? Because I'm smoking a shit out of this cigar. you know. What was your favorite smoke of the year?
Man, my favorite smoke of the year, probably the My Father successor, the Jaime Garcia successor. Um, the limited edition that came out. Great cigar. Just smooth, had a little bit of pepper, but the subtle notes were just nice. Graham cracker at the end. Chef's kiss. Really, really good cigar. That was definitely my pick for this year. 100%. Jaime Garcia
My favorite
successor.
cigar of the year was a cigar that is pretty mysterious because I know nothing about it except that it came from your personal project, the Jetpack, where I ended up on the VIP list, and it's kind of an achievement. So
Hey, man.
the fact that I made it to the list to get
I appreciate
5
that, bro.
cigars that were curated by you, and out of
Yeah.
those was I had the list right here. Probably won't be able to see it, but you had a personal project called the Jetpack, and it was consisted of 5 curated cigars by you,
Yes, sir.
and I didn't want to take them for granted, so I smoked them not
Thank
so
my
much in
dog.
a celebratory way, but I wanted to make sure when I sat down with one of them that I could listen to it and actually enjoy the smoke. And out of the list, which was again 5 cigars, there was one called the Jumbo. And
Yes.
that Jumbo, this is how I knew it was good. I kept looking at it like, damn, I only got one of these. And I can't
Eh,
get another one of these because I don't know what it is because these were 5 cigars that had, the Jetson label on it, the Jetpack label or the band, but they were from reputable cigar companies that I know of, but I don't have to lean on the name to know that it's good. So I'm smoking it because one, it came from your curation, but at the same time, it's like, okay, what there is information on it, but who it's from isn't, which was a again, I'm learning that I really like mystery. I don't need to know every detail about everything to enjoy
that's
it.
right.
So
That's right.
that was a really great smoke because I kept looking at it like, oh man, I only got a third left. I remember I was like, I'm steaming this thing. I need to just chill out and
I
really
appreciate
like
that. That means a lot.
enjoy it.
That
Yeah.
means a lot, man. That's been the
Yeah.
best part of it. It's just been the feedback, and I'm really appreciative of all the great feedback I've gotten. This was a unique project. I went through great lengths to preserve these blends that were going to be shelved or not used at all, and I snuck some stuff out of some factories. Um, but ultimately, there's nothing like these cigars on the market. They're very unique, and with that just comes this level of, you have a piece unique, you know, and I'm hoping that everyone enjoyed them, and I'm just really happy that everyone has enjoyed them that's reached out.
I'm
Um,
enjoying it now. I only have one cigar left. This is the 777, and
777, baby.
I've been smoking this for the last hour,
Yes, sir.
and I've been genuinely enjoying it. I've been pairing it with my homemade sorrel.
Yes,
So
sir.
like it's just a beautiful smoke. So
I appreciate
um
that, bro. Thank you.
yeah, of course, of course. And I mean it. Like I genuinely mean it.
Cool.
The last thing before we get out of here, I know this is gonna be a short episode, but I feel like everybody's time, let's appreciate their time for
Hey,
now. And then we can go long form when we put out, when we start working on season 2. So
season two,
everybody
baby.
stay tuned for Sunday Cigar
We working,
season 2
baby.
that's dropping.
We working, baby.
Um,
You heard?
what are you looking forward to in 2026? And then I'll round it out and then we'll get out of here.
Um, Time. Not to take it for granted, but time. I'm looking forward to just seeing how things play out for a lot of different sectors of my life, whether it's Jetson's growth or, professionally. Uh, you know, I think that I'm locked in a way that's very deep. I'm focusing in on the details. I want to better myself, obviously. I want to see a better version of myself. So with that locking in comes, trying harder to be a better person. That comes with, being more patient and, you know, uh, not giving more of myself, but being more present when I am in front of other people, which I strive as much as possible to be as present as possible. And that's all, man. I don't really have like, thoughts of grandeur. I think I'm not going with the flow. I want to make great opportunities for myself. But man, I'm happy to be here, bro. I'm happy to be
Yeah.
here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'll be grateful to have more conversation with you. Obviously, for season 2 to take its place, and for us to just continuously have the connection that we have, and continue to always reach out. And I don't take it for granted, bro. I don't take it for granted, and I
Neither do
really
I.
do appreciate your knowledge, and everything that you share with me is absolutely. I can't picture 50 people that can offer me the amount of knowledge and you know uh culture that you bring to me. So I hope that our listeners are out there and feeling the same way, because you
Yeah.
provide a lot of different medians of work, and you're constantly working. So I'm hoping that, for 2026, part of that is, looking forward to the things that you have going on. And not to make this about you, but to be honest, you're a part of my uh my ecosystem that keeps me aware and balanced. You know what I'm saying? And you keep me humble, bro. I can't get arrogant when I'm trying to keep up with, the sharpness of what we try to put together
That
all the
means a
time.
lot.
Yeah,
Thank you.
man. For sure, bro. I mean that.
And for me, I would say it would
Yeah.
be this new, like starting to release my writing. Like with New
Yeah.
York 10 and a lot of the other projects that I've worked on and that I bring to the market or just to society.
Right
I don't
on.
even know how to word that correctly, but as I'm offering up,
Okay.
whatever interview or whoever, I'm always saying, look how cool this person is, or look how cool this place is, or look how we should celebrate this thing. But with my writing, it's different. Like I'm actually offering up my art, my actual thoughts on things, how I interpret things, how what I've learned and how I can share it even to say like your son and my nieces,
Yes.
creating things that will precede whatever the heck I have learned and wanted to preserve and share for them. So when they get to be our age or even 10 years older or 20 years older, and they're like, oh my God, Amon left this book for me to realize that like I don't have to make these mistakes. So I don't have to do this thing, or I can be
Right.
this, or it's okay to
Right.
be myself, or
Yeah.
pursue my dreams, or whatever the heck they take away from it.
Yeah.
So but at the same time, it's also my personality, so my sense of humor. Because sometimes people they meet, and not just me, but anybody. Like you meet a section of the person and what
Of
they're
course.
willing to offer. So, like
Yes.
the parts that I know of you is not the parts your wife knows, the parts your
Right.
kids know, your colleagues know, your childhood
Agreed.
friends, and the same thing with me. But with your art and with my writing, I give you an idea or a more of a full spectrum experience of not just me as a just monolith of what you know me to be. So it's gonna
Gotcha.
break a lot of expectations of like, oh, I didn't even know that that happened or this happened.
Right.
So I'm really eager to share these things because I've been so afraid to share them throughout my career because I've always wanted to make sure that I'm checking all the boxes and being the right person to continue to get the work. So some of this writing is a little unhinged, and that's
Right.
okay. And a little bit of it is very intelligent, and that's okay. And a good amount of it is highly ignorant. And I'm fine with that too, because I know that it's a series of various projects that are coming out of uh this lived experience.
Right on.
So I'm very, very, very
Beautiful.
excited to start publishing and putting these books out. And I look forward to sharing it with you as well as whoever finds themselves in contact with
There's
it. So
depth to it, man. You're creating depth, and that I commend you on creating depth. The fact that you're thinking of, presenting, you know, uh, these works, um, with the mindset that you are means that there's layers. Anything that you produce that has a lot of layers. And I've been a witness to a lot of the stuff that you've created in the past. I can assure you that the public is gonna love what you have to offer.
yeah, you gotta this is something that I'm working on right now, and I want to release it around my birthday, and Lord willing, and schedules
Lord
align and
willing,
all that other stuff. But like
may it happen.
I'm working so hard on this body. It's a
Awesome.
number of essays that all point to a specific piece of culture of a masterpiece that I'm breaking down piece by piece. But just as I'm talking, like it's just me talking as I talk,
That's
not so
beautiful.
much. Look how well I write. Yes,
Yeah,
the grammar will be fine. The punctuation will be fine because we have tools like Grammarly that will handle that, and I
right.
can just focus on my ideas.
Yep.
So I'm really really excited to just put that out there. So
My
I'm
God,
looking forward to it, man. But
love it.
let's not overdo it, man. Let's get out of here. Like again, Juan, I not even again, I didn't say it, but I genuinely appreciate who
Hey,
you are as a
thanks,
person,
my brother.
patient, because
Hey,
sometimes we'll do stuff like this and we may do it several times before we put it out. And you're like, all right, let's do it again. Let's do it again.
listen, man.
And each way
Sometimes
has its own styles and approaches. And so like the fact that whenever we collaborate, it's always a pleasant experience.
I
So
appreciate
thank
that,
you.
brother. And thank you for granting me your patience and your grace, bro. And again, teaching me along the way. I think that the great part about all these things is that as we go, I learn. You know,
We learn.
we do learn, but you're a great teacher. So I'm taking notes, and I'm hoping that I'm an astute student by the end of all this stuff.
You are,
But I
man. Good
appreciate
shit.
everything you have to offer, brother. Real talk.
Well, let's get out of here.
Yeah,
Juan,
baby. Another year.
I
We
see you
made it,
next year,
baby.
brother.
Yo, I want to see you there. I want to go to there.
I want to go to there. So we out of here.
Hey,
Everybody, we
peace and
wishing
love.
you a phenomenal 2026. This is
Yo, happy
another
New Year, y'all.
year end wrap up from New York Said and the Sunday
Word.
Cigar fam. And
Yo,
stay tuned.
God bless.
We're
God
out of
bless.
here.
Yo,
God
keep a
bless.
tight ass, y'all.
Keep a tight ash. 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 All right, Joe, we out.
Wow.
Peace. One.